Hi there, Robert.
Hey, how are you?
Hello,
Fine,
Robert.
thank you. I'm going to be turning my, I may not be saying anything, but I'm here. I'm getting ready to drive.
Good evening, all.
Hello, how are you?
Great.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Howdy.
Hello. Evening, everyone.
Evening.
Excuse me, did you hear me, Robert?
Tom?
Mr. Dunbar,
Yes.
did you hear me? Okay.
Did I hear you? What happened?
Hey, Mr. Dunbar, can you
No, I
hear
said
me?
I'm at a basketball practice and I'm going to be turning my phone off, but I'll still be listening in because I'm going to be driving.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Dunbar, can you hear me? This is Mike Benjamin.
Hey, man, how are you, brother?
It's good to see you, man. Long time.
Yeah, man, good to see you. Good, well, good, not good to see you, but good to hear from you.
I'm trying to figure out how to work the video. Oh, there it is.
There you go, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, man, sound like I ain't seen you in about 10 years, man. How's everything been going?
Yeah, it's been about that since we used to do all the Hilton presentations with the Wildmans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's definitely been about 10 years.
Yeah.
That's been since about 2011.
Yeah. Even before that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you. Where you at now?
Thank you, sir. You too.
Where are you now?
I'm in Pensacola, Florida. I retired from the Navy.
Okay.
And I'm working on base at NAS Pensacola as a government contractor.
Excellent. Good stuff, brother. Good stuff. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get rolling here. It looks like Sharon is muted, so I know she's here, but I think she's got some. She's
I'm
doing
here.
something else right
I was
now.
on the phone. Yeah.
Oh, there she go. Okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. I apologize. I was going to do a chat, but anyway.
Yeah. Oh, so a couple people messaged me about that other page. Guy, I don't know where that other page came from. I don't know whether that's a corporate page or where. I'm not really sure where it came from. I just saw it when somebody asked me about it, so I can't give you any details on it. It's somebody had asked me about a page. Somebody had posted on our CDL page another corporate CDL page, but it's San Diego, California. I don't know anything about that. I took it off of our page because I don't know where it came from. So if it's something, I don't think it's corporate, because corporate wouldn't do a page for a specific state. I mean, a specific city in a state, I know corporate wouldn't do that. So I don't know who else did it, but whoever, if somebody here if it's your page, let me know that it's your page, because I don't know whose page it is. So I took it off of ours because it was confusing people. So that's why I did that, just so you know, so that I removed it. So don't want nobody take offense to it. I don't know where it came from. I know the person that posted it, but the person that posted it don't live in San Diego. So I know that it's not them that created it. I think they were just sharing it, assuming that it was a corporate page. So if anybody here, if that page belongs to you, just reach out to me and let me know. If it's a corporate page that you guys are doing for CDLP on the West Coast, it doesn't matter to me. Wherever people are getting the information, we get it from there. But I don't want to have it on there if it's not something that's that we're supposed to be on, basically is what I'm saying. So because I didn't know where it came from, I took it off.
That might be. I got something about a messenger too. A CDLP page messenger.
I didn't get a messenger, but it might be the same. I know the page said CDLP PPLSI, but then it said that it was just for San Diego, California. And when I went to it, I couldn't find who was the creator of the page. So I just took it off of our page. But eventually somebody, I'm sure, will say something to me about, if it's theirs. And then we'll, people on California, if you're in San Diego and you gonna get information that's vital to that area, then definitely that's kind of maybe where you want to go. So we want to do a little bit of Q&A here because we had the training this past weekend, of course. So I was looking on this Facebook page to see if anybody had anything on there that they were looking to deal with that was just causing maybe some concern for them or whatever. So we'll take a couple of questions here. Of course, if we don't have a lot here, then Sharanda and I will definitely have some stuff to say. But we're trying to give you guys a chance to ask maybe some questions that may be concerning, especially after just taking this class. So we're gonna do a quick introduction, and I see Allison's hand is up. So Allison, as soon as we do our introduction, I'll call on you first. If anybody else knows that they already have a question, just put your hand up, and then we'll go through the hands that's in there. That'll be the easiest way, and then we'll go from we'll go from there. So I'll turn it over to you, Sharanda, to do a quick intro, and then I'll do a quick intro. And I don't see John yet. Let me see. Yeah, John's not on here yet. So we'll do our introductions, and then we'll go ahead and get started from there.
Okay. Sharanda Ivy here from Byron, Georgia. 50K ring earner, CDLP certification trainer, small biz producer, Emory Elite, recognized as #1 field trainer for 2019 and 2021. We've written over 1,000. We earned that production award. We're knocking at 2,000. And so, like I said, just focusing on the commercial drivers legal plan, doing some cross-selling here, definitely with small biz and packaging. And so do all that here in this space. Like Dunbar, I do have a team, but definitely I'm mostly the one producing. But I focus mostly on my major, which is business solutions and small biz. So over to you, Dunbar.
All right, fantastic. So Robert Dunbar, been training for 13 years. Been training for 7 years, been a legal shield for 13 years. Trained on the networking side and the business solution side, both. We stopped at the CDLP space. This is really the space that I like to train in. Again, like I said every week, like this is a niche space, and I really like training in niche spaces because you can make your material and your pitch direct to the person that you're talking to, and I like that. And I also like that when you get your foot in the door with CDL, you can pretty much sell everything else. This is like one of the products that we offer that you can introduce CDL, and then you can also go behind that with the small biz, with the group, with the family plan. You can do all of those things behind that. I think you can sell every one of our products behind the CDL product. So I think that's a good way to step in with that too. Plus you got, less competition. And that's outside of PPLSI and inside of PPLSI. You have less competition here when you're offering this product. So that's where we at. So today we're going to do a little bit of Q&A just because we don't want it to always be so structured where we come into the table with, hey, this is what we're going to go over. This is the PDFs. This is that. Give people a chance to maybe get some of their questions answered that they have about certain things that's happening in the field. Because what we're going to see is more people doing calls and stuff. That's why I think the setup is so good that we do training here. But then if you're saying, hey, look, I'm past hearing this stuff every week. I'm making calls now. I'm dealing with decision makers or company owners that are saying I can come in, or setting appointments and asking me a little bit more about what we offer, then it's a really great idea for you to be on Sharanda's call on Thursday, because now that's a little bit more intimate. It's a little bit less people. And now if you want to really be heard from and say, hey, this is what I'm doing in the field and this is where I need help, you can do that there. So I would definitely say get yourself plugged in if you don't know how to do that. If you go to the CDL Facebook page, it's posted right at the top. So if you go to featured, you will see it. It's a colorful welcome sign. Click that welcome sign. And it'll tell you what to do from there, but you will not get your information to get on that call until that Thursday when it's going to happen. So if you go in there and click on it today, after we get off here, then you're not going to get an email from Sharanda saying, hey, jump on this call until Thursday gets here. So don't look for it before then. So just so you guys know how that all works on that, right? Good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go out to Allison first because our hand is up. And again, if anybody else has any questions, put your hand up so we can call on you. And if you do not ask any questions, if you do not have any questions, don't be texting me tomorrow. Don't be texting me later on. Don't be messaging me, asking me questions, and then when we on this call, you don't have no questions because you don't want to ask in front of all these people. So if you don't want to ask in front of all these people, you put it in the chat or something. I don't know, but make sure you get your questions answered because that's what we're going to be using today for. So Allison, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I just wanted to share that Facebook started something new with groups, and they automatically, I'm not sure if they automatically create messengers for the whole group, because I'm in a couple of different groups and I'm like, where does this come from? And so that's what it is. And something Facebook started.
Oh, you talking about as far as what Sharanda was talking about?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I didn't get a message, so whatever message she got to get, it might be that. It might be a message from something that Facebook is doing. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely, absolutely. So, does anybody have any questions about anything?
I don't know how to put my hand up, sir.
Oh, okay, there you go. Well, yeah, there's the next best thing you on here. So go ahead and shoot your question.
This Facebook. So we have a legitimate Facebook website for Legal Shield, but what I'm understanding is that there's other people who has websites that's similar, but it's not corporate sponsored.
I'm not sure because I haven't found out who created it. So I don't know whether I'm only assuming that it's not corporate because corporate doesn't normally create a Facebook page for a city in a state. You see what I mean? Like corporate normally it's just corporate. It's just for anybody in Legal Shield. This particular page says San Diego, California, and Legal Shield doesn't normally do that. That's the only reason I'm assuming that it's not Legal Shield that created that page.
Yes, sir. And the Thursday call, is that for like if I had somebody that like the trucking company that I was telling you about, if they needed to listen to some information, kind of like a presentation, is that what Thursday's call is?
No, Thursday is going to be like, so say for instance, you're making calls to CDL companies. And because you're making calls in the field, you want to have a little bit more like hands-on training and be on a group with a call with people that are making calls versus people just on the training. Okay. You're going to be on that call. It's a little bit more advanced. This is more of just a sales training CDL call. The Thursday call that Sharanda Ivy holds is a little bit more intimate. It's a little bit of a smaller crowd, and they're talking about actually, this is what happened when I dialed last week, or that person may say, I spoke to a decision maker and this happened, and Sharanda may come in and say, this is how I would handle that. So it's really for people who are actively making calls and things like that. So if you're not making calls yet, if you're not ready to make calls yet, I would suggest not getting on that call. That's for active associates who are actually doing things.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what
it's not for prospects. Definitely not for prospects, not to put prospects on. And it's for CDL. So just is that correct, Trina? Like if they just doing regular group, they shouldn't be on it. Just for CDL groups. Is that the case?
CDL.
Yeah. Okay. So just for CDL and it's within the CDL space.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Anybody else? Any questions? Going once? Going twice? Oh, come on, Yolanda.
The week before last, you were speaking about the ways that we would share our information and how it should say buy now or buy here, right? For the plans. And I was happy because I have that on my card, but then I had, when you click on it, it shows too many. It shows the whole line of plans. So do you have any suggestions on what I should do now at this point? Because I have a lot of cards.
No, it's really nothing you can do. All you can do is get those out until they're gone. I mean, at this point, you already have them. So I wouldn't tell you to throw them away and waste your money. But just when you get your cards done again, the next set of cards done, make sure you use that other link that takes them directly to CDL. And then again, you also have to look at this. Are you just doing CDL? Is that all you're doing with Legal Shield?
No, but CDL is my baby. That's where I'm planning on staying at the CDL. But right now I'm doing both.
Okay, so I would get a small batch of CDL cards with the CDL link on it because the other cards are still good. If you're doing other things in Legal Shield other than just CDL, then those other cards are good anyway because you want them to be able to see the whole gamut if you're doing other things. So, that's fine. But whatever, it's just me personally. And on your business cards, I mean, again, you can't order, 10 different sets of business cards with a different link on every one of them. I wouldn't suggest that either because it's not a good use of your funds. I'm talking about electronically more like, right? When you're prospecting, when you have a signature in your email, you know who you're emailing. So I've trained here at one time. I think I did. Excuse me, I may have not because I trained in different places. But I talked about creating different signatures when you email, and that's something you can do for free, no cost, right? If you're using Gmail, you can have several different signatures. So when I send an email out and it's CDL related, it's a CDL signature. If I send out something and it's networking related or something like that, it has a different signature with a different link. Because I just believe in when I'm marketing, your conversion rate is always going to be higher when you're actually talking to the customer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And when you send something to someone and it seems like it's general, you have a less chance of it converting. Not that it won't convert, but it's just less of a chance. Right. So it's important to take that time to niche your emails when you're sending it to people. So if you're talking to a group that's a non-CDL group, when you send an email to them, then I would have the group benefits link in that email. If it's CDL, I would have the CDL in there. If it's identity theft, I would have the identity theft. If it's small business, I would have the small business. Because again, you want them to go directly where they're going so that they won't stumble over other things and start asking other questions and not enroll.
Right.
You want your customer, when they're ready to enroll, to be able to enroll. And it's a proven fact that the more clicks it takes for Yolanda to get to the checkout on my product, the less chances it is for her to convert.
Right. Okay.
If you got to click here, then click there, then click there, and click there. If it's 2 clicks and they can enroll, you're gonna have more conversion than if it's 5 clicks for them to enroll.
Right. Okay.
So
Thank you.
It takes a little bit more work on your side, but if you're in business to make sales, then you have to do a little bit more work so that you can get a little bit more sales. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yes, it does. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, you got it. Anytime. Absolutely. Cynthia, I see your hand up. Oh, by the way, Sharana, you could have answered on that too. I answered it and went to the next person like he wasn't even there.
Are you good?
I'm sorry. Thank you. I want to first thank you all for being here with your wealth of knowledge. And can you hear me? Because sometimes my mic doesn't work.
It went a little bit low for a second, but I can hear you. We can.
Okay.
I know I can. I can hear you.
Okay. So my question is advice on how to reapproach this CDL company. I called this company and I initially talked to the director, whoever runs the trucking company. And I talked to him about his DOT tickets and how I would like to be able to present what we uniquely offer. Okay, so he said, and I asked, could I speak to the safety manager? Now, the person who answered the phone directed me to this gentleman. And so the gentleman said, oh my goodness, my safety director need to hear this. So he called the safety director, told the safety director to call me because I gave him my number. And so the safety director said, oh, he was a state trooper that retired that had been working with this trucking company part-time. He got hired, this was his second day. He got hired full-time. And so he set an appointment for me the next day. And then he dodged me. He's ghosted me. And so the person who answered the phone that initially gave me the manager of the supervisor of the entire facility, he's not the owner, he runs it. he told me who you need to speak to is the owner's wife, who's never in the building. They have another building, and I don't have that number. I don't have that number. So I don't know, how would you all approach this to get this information about what we offer to this trucking company?
I got an idea on that, but Sharon, let me you hit that first, because you kind of deal with that a little bit more than I do.
No, I mean, if you don't know the number or the person's not there and whoever you're speaking with is not giving you the information, it's thousands of other companies. I wouldn't chase it. I mean, I would go find another company that is not as difficult to get to. Or, just call back occasionally and see, or.
No, they have another business. They have another building, another part of that city that management work out of, the owner's wife. That looks like it according to the online. When I look up business online, there's 2 addresses.
Is it somewhere you can go in person? Like I said,
No, it's in Alabama, and I'm in
okay.
Missouri, and I was in Georgia. Now, when I drive through back towards Georgia, I might be able to stop in. That'd be sometime this month, October. Mm-hmm.
Again, to me, that's just a lot of work.
Too much chasing. Okay.
I mean, you've tried, and she's never in the building, so
no.
I just wouldn't. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
There's just too many other companies out there to be chasing.
And Sharanda, I'm where you at. Like I was thinking that you was gonna say something different than me, but that's what I was gonna say. My would have been my response is, Cynthia, like Sharanda said, I would occasionally follow up like once a month or whatever, just call at whoever, whatever information that you have to follow up with. I would just occasionally follow up to see if you just by happenstance catch that person. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I would just be working my other deals, because like sometimes when somebody makes it too difficult, like it's like don't go for the runaround. Like don't make it because sometimes depending on your personality, because right, it depends on everybody's personality. Some people's personality is it's not even about making a sale. It's about, oh, they dodged me, I gotta catch this person, right? Don't fall into that loop of just trying to catch the person because they dodging. Just if I was you, I would just move on and I would put it on your calendar. Like, right, I'm gonna call on the 1st of the month, right? And then next month, call on the 2nd of the month. On the next month, call on the 3rd of the month. On the next month, call on the 4th of the month. Now you're changing what day you're calling, and you might catch that person. If you don't ever catch them, then you wasn't ever gonna catch them, right? Okay. And if you do catch them, then you catch them, but in the process of catching them, you've been calling all your other contacts and following up and doing your deal and opening up your groups and all that. And at some point, it might just fall through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing is one time I called, that second time I called, and the safety director just was dodging me. The owner was in the building, according to the person who answered the phone, but they were in a meeting. So that was a Friday. So I don't know, maybe the owner comes into the building every Friday and I could just ask for him.
And see, like that's something that like, those are different angles that you can try. So I would try that stuff. Like if you come up with an idea, sometimes you wake up and you just like, you know what, let me try this. Like I would try those things when they come to mind, but I would focus on just like chasing down or following up with your other ones that are a little bit more receptive. And then whenever you come up with a bright idea for that company, go back and try them, because it never hurts to keep going back and trying to follow up. But I wouldn't make that a focal point, because you don't want to keep like being disappointed or get frustrated or get aggravated because they're dodging. Like what I've learned in sales, like, and this is just me personally, this is not a factual statement, this is just an opinion statement. With me, if I know you dodging me, I'm not interested. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I know that a company is dodging me, then I'm not even going to try to. I don't even want to sell, because I've always sold things that are supposed to help people. Okay. Now, if I was selling junk, that's one thing. But if I'm selling you something to help you, and you dodging me and I'm giving you information to let you know it can help you, then at that point, you know what? Whatever situation you end up in, not buying the product, let you end up in it. Maybe you'll contact me after you, because some people need to bump their head.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, some people need to bump their head. So, you know, that's how I would personally carry it. So I think Sharanda and myself both kind of the same approach, man. Go always remember LHG, right? I mean, LHF, low hanging fruit. Don't make your business harder than you need to make it. There are so many prospects out here that want to be sold to, that want to buy what you have, that need the services that you have. Like, don't go after a difficult account and then tell yourself that I'm doing this hard work because that's what it takes to succeed. Like, don't justify that with that statement in your head. Okay. Yes, it does take hard work to succeed. That is part of it. But there's also something called low-hanging fruit. Go after the people who want to buy what you have and spend your time talking to them. And when you run into a difficult account, follow up occasionally. And over time, you may close them. But if you don't close them, it doesn't matter, because you've been closing all these other accounts meanwhile.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we got a question, Sharanda, on the, I don't know, maybe I'm looking at this question and I don't understand it totally, but I'm gonna put it out here. Teresa West asked the question on YouTube. Are we able to offer the launch plan under Business Solutions? And I don't know if I really understand that. Maybe I'm thinking too hard about the question. Does that question make sense to you, Sharanda?
Yeah, we can do launch. It's just launch. I mean, but I don't know what it's characterized as, Business Solutions or network, but it's launch. So if she's trying to get somebody to get the LLC in place, that's what, that'd be good to use.
Gotcha. And where would a person use that in this space though? Like as far as like opening groups and doing what we're doing, like what? How would a person use that?
You wouldn't use in CDL. If somebody was interested in getting started to get their own authority, or if they were doing something else in the space, but for their CDLs, if they were going to get their own authority, they have to have their business incorporated before applying for an authority.
Makes sense.
So maybe a driver has been in the truck and now he's ready to launch out on his own to get his own authority. He has to have his business incorporated before applying for his own authority.
So if I had a prospect that I was talking to that drove for another company and they were trying to get their own authority, I could literally do the launch, right? Make that sale with launch, help them open up their business. And then once they got their business running up, then I could go in and open up a group or sell a small business plan to that person after. Is that how that would work?
You could. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right, good stuff. So hopefully that answered that question. And we got any other questions on YouTube? No more questions on YouTube. If anybody else have any questions on YouTube, just put it in the chat and I'll ask it here live. Does anybody else here have any questions on the Zoom?
Yes, I do, Robert.
Oh, go ahead, Timothy. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, Robert. Good to be back, man. Good to be back. Question I have, I work during the weekday with Harris County here in Houston. I'm only off on like Saturdays and Sundays. And I'm really interested in doing CDL because I was a CDL driver for 12 years myself. As far as scheduling, do you know of any, there are safety meetings on Saturdays, but some company has to, because that's the only time I'm able to, get around and be able to contact or meet with them is like on a Saturday or Sunday. So what suggestion would you have for that, since I'm not really available during the weekday for that?
I'll give you a quick something on it, but Sharanda, I don't know if Sharanda can hit this too. As far as the safety meetings, I haven't gone to any since COVID. Now, when I was going to safety meetings pretty regularly, they had them on Saturdays. Like I mean, different companies do them differently, but I've gone to them on Saturdays plenty of times where they'll hold them in hotels and, you know, buy lunch or breakfast, whatever, for their CDL guys. We come and do the presentation. But at this point, that's like second, third, fourth step or whatever. Right now, it's about getting the prospect. So calling on those companies. Now, whether calling on a company on Saturday or Sunday is a good idea, I don't know right now, but Sharanda may know because she does more calling. So she may know whether or not how you would do that around your work schedule on CDL. Because calling on CDL companies is definitely a little bit different than calling on regular non-CDL companies, meaning that their availability on different days. Because I know traditionally I wouldn't call a regular company on Saturday or Sunday. But a CDL company may be able to because a lot of times they are available on the weekend. So the safety meeting would be something later on if you did it. A lot of us do stuff online anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're doing like Zoom things with our companies. But Sharanda, a little bit more insight on that, because I know that's kind of your space.
Well, I would just ask. So Timothy, you are you saying that you only have Saturday and Sunday to prospect, or that's when you be able to do a safety meeting? Because that's
well, as I'm driving around in my territory, you know, I am getting down the numbers and in the USDOT numbers. But as far as actually getting with them, yes, I only have like Saturday or Sunday to be able to.
What's your hours during the week?
From 7 until 4 o'clock.
That sounds like a lot of time left for the day for me, but you know.
I love it.
Let me know. Okay, that's what I need.
But I'm just gonna say this, sir. You know, but yeah, it's still like a lot of time in the day. 4 o'clock is early compared to most. And I see one over there trying to type as fast as she can, but the thing about it is you still got a whole 5 hours to prospect, because if you was, and I don't know, you might be, but you plug in and you plug into like a field trainer, and all of them don't do that. So all of them don't think like I'm thinking, and all of them ain't thinking like Dunbar thinking that it's online. But for me, you still got about 9 o'clock to prospect when it comes to CDL drivers and small companies that I would recommend that you start with, because what a lot of the people that work with me, they're taught to prospect nationwide. So therefore you can call on the West Coast after 4 o'clock. It's still 1 o'clock there. So that's one thing. And when it comes to Saturdays, absolutely, if you can make calls on Saturday, you may find that a lot of drivers are home on the weekend, or they're sitting to reset because they can't drive anymore, to after they reset to get to the location that they got to deliver that following week. So that's why when on the weekend you see so many trucks in the pilot, because they're resetting or they're waiting to move on so they can get to wherever they need to drop that load. So Saturdays may be good because they may be sitting or they may be home. So I would do Saturdays. I don't really say I would do Sundays because I kind of trying to protect my Sundays. And, you might be tipping on somebody's religion doing that, but to each his own. If you want to try and see what the results is, you can only try and see. But definitely, I would say Saturday, yeah. Oh.
Visit some of the truck stops and just prospect there.
No, I ain't say nothing about none of that. I didn't say nothing about going to a truck stop. I just told you said as you drive around, I said, so I know on the weekend when you're driving around, I know your head go whiplash when you see that truck stop because you're driving around and you see all those trucks. That's all I said. I didn't say nothing about going to a truck stop. I don't recommend people to do that.
No, me either.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I think that is just the last resort. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to a truck stop and do that.
Hey, Timothy, where you at?
I'm in Houston.
Okay, so you in Central Time Zone. So yeah, like Pacific and West, like that's the really good thing about Marketing and Legal Shield is that it's nationwide, and you can always call. You can always call into another time zone, and the trucking company by no means does not have to be near you. And at the end of the day, like sometimes we don't even realize that. Like when you're driving around, right, and you looking left or right, and you write down these trucking companies. They probably not near you anyway. That truck is in your area. Like that's not what you calling on it at anyway. So you might write down that truck there, but when you call in that trucking company might be in California, might be in New York, might be anywhere else. So really, you're writing down DOT numbers for trucking companies that aren't in Texas anyway, probably. So you might as well call on trucking companies that's not in Texas where you can get off at 4 and it's 2:00. You know what I mean? 2:00 or 3:00. And you got a couple more hours that you can call.
I would plug into the training that teaches you how to research. So like Dunbar said, you don't write down 1,000 numbers. First of all, they may have 1,000-man group. And then they somewhere, it's just an easier way, Timothy, especially with your time as limited as it is. I would definitely plug into the safety trainings that or on the YouTube channel that has been done that teaches you how to how to research prospects. And that is not done by driving around looking for DOT numbers. So I think your time would be served better to just tap into that training so you can learn how to research companies. And you can realize that you can start making some dials later in the evenings when you get off work. You can start working your PPLSI business after that.
You said that's on the YouTube channel?
And the Facebook, CDLP Facebook page, but yeah, definitely on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and Timothy, at some point here in the next, I guess 10 minutes, I'll when I get a chance, I will drop the I'll put the link there for anybody who needs to get to that. I'm trying to get my Zoom.
And I do know Lamar personally, so I'll probably start him as well. I said I do know Lamar personally.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. So, and Lamar, anybody that knows a lot, Lamar knows that Lamar is pretty helpful. If you're serious about CDLP, Lamar will help you out if you're serious. So yeah, that's definitely always a good solution. Somebody trying to say something?
Oh, they just unmuted.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Any more questions?
I have a question. This is Jesse from Hartford, Connecticut.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. For the presentations, what do we use for what's recommended to show someone for a presentation?
You mean like if you're presenting like online or like at a safety meeting, like in what scenario?
No, for individual.
So like you just talking to a truck driver?
Yes, a person that works for a trucking company. Like right now, trying to prospect a person that works for a FedEx company, and she drives a truck. And I know FedEx is is a huge company, so I figure maybe I can get her on the plan individually.
So, and are you meeting with this person in person, or is this like a phone or Zoom?
I haven't met with her yet. I don't know which way to go. I don't know if it's better to person or Zoom or.
Oh, I don't think there's a better way. I think it's based on how y'all can get together. Whatever's the more convenient between you and that prospect. So if y'all can meet and you can do it in person, then do it in person. If that person is not available, you're not available, y'all schedules can't really match, then doing the Zoom is totally fine. I don't, and this is a preference thing. I don't use like like the video and stuff like that. If I'm doing a presentation, I go over the information with the person. So even if it was Zoom, so if it was one-on-one, I'm simply just gonna have a folder and I'm gonna go over the information in the folder, right? The fact sheet. I may have the legal plan, the regular family plan, legal plan with me as well, and just do a regular sit down presentation. You still got people that's using the CDL flip book and all that. I don't use anything like that. I just use the fact sheet. I let them see, I give them a folder, I let them see what's in it. I ask them questions, I talk to them. I research them before I go in and talk to them just to see what's going on with them. And then I talk to that person one-on-one. I don't do a lot of one-on-one sales, so I don't have a whole bunch of experience with just talking to an individual truck driver because I don't do a lot of that. I was always doing more group stuff. As far as just selling a plan to a driver, just a one-off, I didn't do a lot of that. And I don't know how good a FedEx prospect is going to be for you, but I'm going to let Sharana talk a little bit more about that too on her side. But for me, those UPS drivers and FedEx drivers, they were never really prospects for me. Not that they can't use the plan, but they were never prospects for me. So I don't know how that's going to work out for you. How that sale is going to work for you. If you're going to do a Zoom, the same thing. I'll put stuff up. I'll share my screen and I'll say, this is the fact sheet. Now when I'm doing my Zoom presentation, they're seeing the fact sheet, the CDL sheet that covers what the membership does. If you're going to still talk to them about the family plan too, then you want to have that sheet available on your computer and share that with them as well. Some people use the video, some people don't. I'm just not a person that uses it, but I'm not saying that it doesn't work. So that's how I would present the information. But Sharanda?
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of CDL drivers do. I think they have a CDL. But you don't see a lot of them trucks pulled over either. So, you know, so she may be getting something in her personal vehicle. I would just meet with her and see does she have a CDL? You might know that already. When it comes to 101s, just depends. I don't do any Zooms, not a whole lot of Zooms. I've done a few Zooms for CDL, not a lot. That's just not a choice that I choose. So you got the video out there, you got the flat sheets out there. Like he said, I think it's more of your preference and how you want to present to your prospect. So, but if she has a CDL, definitely it's worth protecting. And just move that way. That's what I would recommend. How you do presentations now, she's no different. If you do 101s now, so how you do that now with prospects?
Well, right now, I play the video, the opportunity video.
The opportunity video? I thought you was trying to sell a CDL.
Well, I haven't did a CDL yet.
Oh, okay.
No, haven't done. Well, let me take that back. A few years ago, I did what Robert was talking about, Mr. Dunbar. I sat down when I went over the sheet. But I was thinking if I thought there was another way or a better way. So I guess I am on track.
No, it's however you want to share that information with your prospect. If you're selling a membership, you want to do a sit down, do a sit down.
Okay.
You want to send her a link or a flat sheet, do that. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, okay. There's definitely not I don't think that I think how you market the plan, as long as you're doing it within, obviously, flat sheet or video, whatever, I think it's based on your personality. So I may have mentioned this before on this call. It's when it comes to sales, like you have to do what you're comfortable doing. That's within reason of sales, right? So of course, obviously, encompassed in what are our ways of selling. Can we do a flat sheet sit down presentation? Yes. Can we send them a video? Yes. Can we do a three-way call? Yes. Those are all options. Which one you choose is going to be whatever one you feel like is going to get you a better conversion rate. And that's based on you, not like somebody else can tell you which one of those to use, because it's whichever one you're going to do more comfortably. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like having 2 or 3 different scripts and saying which script is better. Well, whichever one you can say with the less effort, that's going to be the one that's going to be better for you to do, because you're the one, it's however comfortable you are doing it. If you feel comfortable saying that particular script, then that's the one that will work for you. So you just got to try the different things. Like you said, you've done the sit down with the flat sheet before. I would try a Zoom and see whether or not the Zoom works for you. Like if you do a Zoom, I do a lot of Zooms. I do probably 5 or 6 Zooms a day anyway. So I'm so comfortable with Zoom, I can do whatever on Zoom. I can do groups on Zoom. I can do a safety meeting on Zoom. I can do a one-on-one on Zoom. So that's what's comfortable for me. But somebody else might be like, nah, this Zoom thing, I'm not comfortable in front of a camera. So when I'm doing my presentation, I'm nervous because I'm on video. I don't like being on video. So it may not work as well for that person. In person might work better for them, or maybe just over the phone where you feel like they're not looking at you. So it's not really whether one works or doesn't work. It's about which one are you more comfortable doing and which one is your customer comfortable doing, because you may say do a Zoom, you may want to do a Zoom and your customer say, oh no, I don't like Zoom. Now, what if your customer don't like Zoom and that's what you want to do, then you got to do what suits the customer.
Yeah.
So always ask them as well. And then, find your comfortable spot and then always ask your customers. Like I used to mention when I used to talk about prospecting, I would say, don't send people the hottest new whatever, right? Because our company always has to release new stuff. They have to it's a new video, it's a new flat sheet, it's a new audio or whatever it is, right? The question that you need to ask though is about if Jesse Hardy is my prospect. Hey Jesse, I got some information I want to send you on the product that we talked about. Do you like something that you can read, something that you can listen to, or something that you can watch? Because what's going to be more successful is what they're going to consume.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a really great new video, right? So people are like, when they gonna come out with a new CDL video? Well, when they come out with one, you can't just shove it down everybody's throat because some people don't want to watch the video. So you still have to ask that customer what they want. That person may want to read a fact sheet. So that video might be exciting for us to want to send. But again, if you want to increase your conversion rate when it comes to sales, always send a prospect what they consume, because I don't care how good a video is. If Daryl don't watch videos, he's not going to watch that great video. Mm-hmm. If Daryl wants to read because his mindset is, I want to look at what I'm getting, not hear a video, not watch a video, then they're never going to look at the video that you send them, which means you can't convert them no matter how good the video is. Mm-hmm. Make sense? So always ask the prospect how they would like to be prospected, if that makes sense, right?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's like me taking a woman on a date, no ask her what she want to eat, what she like to eat. I can't take her to where I want to go. She might be like, I don't eat meat. You took me to a steak restaurant, I don't eat meat. Right? No matter how nice of a place it is, don't care about the ambiance, don't care about it being the best steak in town, and it having a 5-star rating. If she don't eat steak, I lost that battle, right?
Yep. Yep.
Same thing here when you're prospecting. When you're prospecting, it's about what the prospect wants to consume more than what we want to offer, if that makes sense.
Okay. Appreciate that. Absolutely.
You got it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So do we have any more? I feel like we got a question by Allison and one by Mike. So we're gonna hit Allison. Oh, Allison, was your hand up on purpose?
Yes.
Okay, come on.
I'm kind of it's not confusion, but say for instance, okay, we know that FedEx is a large company, and I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I think they might already be covered. But say for instance, I'm out prospecting and an individual, and their company is they tell me, okay, I'm trying to see how I will get the information. Okay, I'll call Legal Shield and I will inquire whether the company already have the service. But I already talked to the person, possibly my prospect, about getting the service. How would you maneuver or if they already have the service, I just inform my prospect that their company already provide the service, and they either individual as groups. Do you understand what my question is?
I think I understand, because I heard relevant questions. I mean, like questions that are similar to that. Mm-hmm. I think you're asking if you have I'm gonna use names, right? If I walked into a place and saw Melissa, and I started talking to her about a CDL membership, and she said she works for a specific company, would you call and see whether that company had a membership? I wouldn't. No, I don't. When I'm prospecting people, I'm not, if they say they work for a specific company, I'm not going to call corporate and see if that company is I'm not doing all that. If that person does, either that person has Legal Shield or they don't. Now, I'm not going to approach a group that has Legal Shield, but I don't have the time in my schedule that every time I walk up to an individual and they say, I work for ABC Continental Trucking Company, I'm not going to call corporate and see whether or not I'm going to ask that person, Melissa, does your company offer a CDL plan? If that person says no, I'm going to sell them a plan if that's what my reason for approaching them is. Okay. Now, I'm sure that there are some very heavenly folks on here that want to call corporate and ask that question, and by all means, if you want to do that, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just being transparent with me. If I prospect, that's just like me doing that with an individual, right? And if I walk up to somebody, if I'm at church and I talk to a person that's at my church about Legal Shield, PBLSI, I'm not going to find out where they work at to see whether or not the company they work for already offers it as a group and then say, get it from your company. I'm not going to do that. If I'm talking to you and you tell me, I think my company offers that. Now I'm going to say, well, what company do you work for? So and so. Well, go ahead. When you go back to work, just check with your HR and see whether or not y'all offer it. If you do, you can probably get it for a little bit less with the group rate and get it through your payroll deduction or whatever. Then I'm going to say that because they suggested to me that they may offer it there. I don't never ask anybody that question. So, you know what I mean? So I just, this is me personally. So, you know, I'm gonna throw Sharanda under the bus. Sharanda, what you do?
No, that's not what we do. So you meet an individual and they don't have a CDLP plan, sell them the CDLP plan.
All right. Thank you.
And let me add something else to that too. And again, I mean, not that I don't care about what y'all think about me, but I don't care what y'all think about me. Is that okay for you to say that? Okay, so let me say this. If I meet Daryl and Daryl has a small business plan from Legal Shield, but he doesn't have any other coverage, I'm going to sell him the other plans. I am not going to kick him back to the associate who didn't sell him those plans.
Yeah.
Why didn't they sell him those plans? I'm not going to do that. That's just me personally. Now, again, I'm not speaking for Legal Shield. I'm speaking for trainers for the company. I'm talking about Robert Dunbar. If I walk up on somebody and they say that they have the small business plan, but they don't have the family plan, I am not going to be like, oh, you need to call that associate and tell them to sell you it. No, that's associate's job to do that, right? Like I'm a business owner. Like if I sell something that other people sell, if you walked in my place to buy something, I'm not gonna say, oh, but the last time you bought that, you bought it from this other company. Why don't you just go back to them and buy it? No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. If that's your prospect, then you need to be selling them what you offer. You see what I mean? Now, if Daryl says, oh, you know what? I didn't know y'all had a family plan. You know what? I bought this business plan from a friend of mine. Let me contact him. Okay, now I'm not gonna cross that line. If you're saying the person you bought it from, you got a relationship with them, you're gonna go back and get it from them, then I'm not gonna be like, no, just get it from me. I'm not gonna stop any of that. But I'm not going to find out you already have a Legal Shield product and then tell you to go back to them. I'm just not gonna do that. So I mean, however y'all think about me about that, I'm being transparent. I'm not doing that. I'm an entrepreneur, and if you're not taking care of your client, somebody else gonna take care of your client to a certain extent. Does that make sense? So, Terrain, I'm throwing you under the bus.
No, that's true. That's just like on the networking side when somebody sold somebody a legal plan or a product, but then mention the opportunity, and somebody comes in and recruit them.
Okay.
And believe it or not, that's my story. So if anybody never heard my full story, I'm not gonna tell it now. But I got a good friend in Legal Shield that I've been knowing for I guess 20 years now, Clark Burton. For those that know who Clark Burton is, me and Clark Burton, that's the funniest story between us two. He tells it all the time. Clark Burton sold me a Legal Shield plan in 2006. And we were still friends. And in 2009, somebody recruited me into the business. And me, him, me, Clark, and the guy that recruited me, we all friends.
Mhm.
We all know each other. And it's a running joke between the three of us because the guy's like, hey, man, you know, and Clark Burton was like, I don't do networking, I'm just business solutions. That was his mindset. But ask him that now. If you ask Clark Burton today, do you do business solutions and networking? He gonna say, yeah, because the biggest mistake I made was I didn't recruit Dunbar. That's why he stopped saying it. Because when I met him, he was like, oh no, all he saw was identity theft in the legal plan. He didn't touch recruit. It's just not what he did. But he does now. He does now. So that's where it's at. I mean, you know, you got the opportunity is there. If you don't talk about it, I'm not gonna push somebody back your way to give you a second chance. No, you didn't sell it to them. They want it. I'm gonna sell it to them. That's where that's at. That's where that's at. So, Mike, you had your hand up too.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
With you saying that you'll do Zoom calls, I want to see if it's all right for us to call you to do Zoom calls to help us out, or is that going to interfere with your business? I don't know what your schedule is like. No.
I don't do Zoom calls for individual sales. I will help you with a group setup. So, and that's a good question. So that these 46 people on here will know that too. Like, I've had a couple people do that, and if I know you and me and you are friends, I ain't gonna trip about it. Cause like, if I'm friends with you and we good, I ain't tripping about that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put it out there because we okay with each other. Vanessa Harris did that to me. So Vanessa called me and had me do a 3-way call with her for just this individual sale. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I apologize." And it's like I wasn't tripping because I know Vanessa. Like, me and Vanessa, we talk enough that we tight enough that I don't care nothing about that. Like, because me and her have a relationship. She wasn't some random person called me, right? So I didn't trip about it. I did the 3-way call for her. It was just for individual. But like, just regularly speaking, I don't normally do 3-way calls to make a sale. If it's recruiting, if it's opening up a group, even if it's a small business plan, I will, you know what I mean? It's like, because that is a little bit sometimes tougher than just opening up, doing a sale. But as salespeople, if you can't close an individual sale on your own, you got to sharpen your skill set, because it's not going to be a whole lot of people available to do a 2-way call for just an individual sale, right? So it's like that part of it you're probably going to have to do unless your upline is willing to help or something like that. But on the group side, on the small business side, anything like that, if somebody happens to have a networking person and they're trying to recruit somebody, yeah, all of those things, I'll give you a link, and then you just click the link and just schedule the time, and then I'll be available at the time that you schedule it for. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, that's, and I was talking about group sales. Yeah,
okay,
you're right about the individual.
Yeah, I got a link for that. I have a field training link. I push you the link, and you just click the link and just schedule it for whatever time, and then we good.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you got it, brother. You got it. All right, guys, it's 9:36. There's no more hands up. We're gonna go ahead and get closed out. So I'm not sure. Sharenda, you know when the next CDO, or did they not announce it yet?
I don't remember him announcing it. I might be wrong, but I stayed to the end, but I didn't hear him announce it.
Gotcha. Whenever they would let us know, we'll get it on the Facebook page. We'll send a couple of emails out to let you guys know to get registered for that next class that's coming up. And of course, this Thursday, remember, if you go to the Facebook page and you click to register for the Thursday accountability CDL with Sharanda, remember, you're not going to get a response until Thursday. So don't be looking for one Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to come on Thursday to let you know how to get into that deal. And remember that you need to be a little bit active when you do that. So that's where we at. We appreciate you guys for joining us this week. If, like I said in the beginning, if anybody knows whose CDL page that was, just let me know so I can contact them and just make sure if everything's good with it, then everything's good with it. I just don't want it sitting on our page if it's not supposed to be there. So if anybody know who created it, just have them reach out to me or Sharanda, and we'll deal with it that way. That's where that's at. So appreciate you guys all again. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. Sharanda will see you guys on Thursday. Everybody have a great rest of your week and have a great closeout of your month.
All right, sir. Good night. Y'all be
All right.
blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thanks, y'all.
Absolutely.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.